Right, there's a very Torah bit part coming up.
I think you lost the complete... Anybody who makes it past the first YouTube, I mean, is like hardcore. Because, I mean, I would be out of here.
We will love the beach. Together, we will learn and teach. Together, change our pace of life. Together, we will work and strive.
Okay, can you cut it? Because, I mean,
Okay.
seriously, nobody's going to pay attention at this point.
Okay.
If you play the Pet Shop Boys, people will sit through it. But if you're going to sit there and sing out a tune by yourself with no accompaniment,
You don't think that'd be
the
good for the
entire
ratings?
audience is gone. I'm serious. Cut that. I'm serious. That's terrible.
Okay,
That was
folks.
god awful. God awful.
Welcome to Torah Talk.
There's nobody left. There's no reason to continue the show. Nobody is going to be left after that. At that point in the YouTube, they're gone.
I'm Luke Ford, aka Levi Ben Abraham. This is Rabbi Rabs.
Shout out to all my favorite chickses out there.
This week's Torah portion is Vayeira, which is basically...
Vayeira.
Vayeira.
Vayeira. Say it properly.
Vayeira.
Vayeira.
Vayeira. Which...
Yay. Just say yay.
Yay.
Vayeira.
Vayeira.
There you go.
So that basically picks up in Genesis 18. And,
We're not there yet. We're not there yet.
Well, that's where it starts.
I know, but there's a lot of things we got to talk about before then.
Okay, from last week. I
got a lot of stuff to talk about.
Okay, so go ahead.
A lot of stuff. You ready?
Yeah, go ahead.
First of all, last week you did a interview with another. You did a Torah talk with another guy.
Yeah.
Okay,
Go
so I want
ahead.
to talk about that.
Okay.
Okay, I don't know who he. I really don't know who this guy is. I don't know anything about him.
Okay.
But you guys started off the talk talking about me, which I thought was really funny, right? Because I was just like, tuning in, trying to see what you guys are about, and they're talking about me. You called me Haredi.
Yeah.
What the fuck? What makes me Haredi? First of all, I hate these terms. I hate terms, labels like Haredi and Orthodox. There's no such thing as a Jew who's Orthodox, right? There's from and there's fry. Either you keep Shomer Shabbos, you can say the guy's a Shomer Shabbos, right? But you don't know he's completely Orthodox. What does that mean? It's a goyish term, Orthodox. You can call me Shomer Shabbos. I keep Shabbos. You can call me from. Don't call me Haredi. Haredi translates into English as ultra-Orthodox.
Mm-hmm.
It's offensive. Why would you call me? I don't even fit that at all. What about me seems ultra-Orthodox?
What about the rabbi seems ultra-Orthodox? So let's start with the payers.
So, that's part of being Jewish. That's mainstream Judaism.
Well, you don't see many people who aren't Haredi wearing payers.
You don't see many people today who are Jewish. Does that mean the Jewish are ultra-Jewish?
Well,
Because-
Haredi doesn't literally translate as ultra-Orthodox. It means those who tremble.
What you've done is you've pigeonholed people who actually follow the Torah as being extremists. You're coming into this with a left-wing, anti-Jewish attitude and using their verbiage.
There's nothing goyish or left-wing about the term Haredi. You can look it up on the internet, use Google, use Wikipedia. Haredi means those who tremble before God.
It's used by the secular press, like in Israel, in Eretz Israel. They use it there the same way that secular left-wing press out here would label us as ultra-Orthodox.
I see nothing wrong with the term ultra-Orthodox as well.
I find it offensive.
Okay.
First of all, the word Orthodox is offensive. It's not a kosher word. You're not going to find Orthodox anywhere in any Torah writing. Orthodox was developed by people who are left off in heretical offshoots from Judaism. They formed like the Reform movement. And they labeled us who keep Torah Jews, as being Orthodox. I reject the notion of being labeled under their definition of what we do. It is not for secular people to define what Judaism is and to say that those who actually follow it are outdated extremists. We're not extremists. What I'm doing is mainstream normative Judaism. And people who look at me and they think, oh, extremist. Those are people who are probably secular and or following some heretical offshoot of Judaism. That's not normative. Anyone who looks at me and says, Haredi, is somebody who's not following normative Judaism.
Okay, well, you can just start Googling the term Orthodox Judaism. Thousands of Orthodox rabbis have embraced the term Orthodox Judaism. Shimshon Raphael Hirsch embraced the term Orthodox Judaism in Germany in the 19th century.
Do you know why?
Because he thought it fit his.
Because he was fighting with the reform that was breaking off at the time.
Yeah.
But that was then. Now we're done with that. Right now we're back. We understand everybody's left. They've left. They're now secular. They're secular. They're following heretical offshoots. We're following Judaism.
Oh,
you know what? I had the same stupid argument last week with a whole bunch of people when it comes to Islam. We talked about it here before. You know, the secular left tries to encapsulate things that are not themselves and do it in a way that makes the other, that's demeaning and calls the other ones extremists. So anyone who follows actual Islam today, 100%, is called some extremist, some radical. That's not extremist or radical. They're following Islam. What you see with people who are peaceful, Islam is a peaceful religion, those are people who are following probably a heretical offshoot of Islam. Or it's people who are not following it 100%. That doesn't mean that the other people are extremists. It means that you are watering it down. You're not doing it.
Folks, you want to see an extremist, look up the word in the dictionary, you'll see a picture of Rabbi Rav. You're an extremist.
I'm not an extremist. This is normal. Black and white is...
Even if you weren't
black and white, what I'm wearing is normative Judaism. It's mainstream, and most frummies in this world and in America dress like me.
Okay, the word Haredi derives from
it doesn't matter what the word derives from. First of all, I told you in my book, you read my book, Wikipedia you should never use. Wikipedia is not a kosher source. I actually write to avoid it at all costs. When it comes to Judaism, never use Wikipedia. This guy's going to now ignore what I said. He's going to quote from Wikipedia, despite the fact I just said that.
Yeah, I don't allow you to determine what...
Well, then I don't have to listen to this. Because it doesn't mean anything to me. First of all, it's Wikipedia. Second of all, we're not going to fight of what the definition of the word Haredi is, because that's irrelevant. Just like we're not going to fight about what the definition of the word Orthodox is. It's not what the word is. It's who used it to describe what. It's the context. It's the history of it. Haredi is a word thrown around by secular left-wing people to demean frummies. End of debate.
Okay, well, I get to speak on my show too.
Okay.
So the word Haredi originally comes from the Hebrew translation of Haredah, which in this context interpreted as the one who trembles in awe of God. The word itself means fear or anxiety. This is according to Wikipedia, entry on Haredi Judaism, which Rabbi Rav says is not a kosher source. So take that. Now, you're also a follower of Avigdor Miller. Like, if someone wants to know what Rabbi Rav's worldview is, what his hashkafa is, they would do well to consult the writings of Avigdor Miller. I mean, that's where you come from.
I come from, yeah, I would say so. Absolutely.
So, folks, look up Avigdor Miller, listen to his lectures, read his books, and
make up your own.
Make up your own mind. I've read some of his writings. I've listened to many hours of his lectures. I enjoy the heck out of them.
Really?
I think he's really an interesting, very smart man. Like, even if you hate him, you can't dismiss him.
How can you hate him?
How can you hate Avigdor Miller?
How can anyone hate him? He speaks pure Torah. If you hate him, you hate Judaism. End of debate.
Your mileage may vary. So,
I don't understand how anyone can hate that. If you hate that, I mean, you hate Judaism. You liked watered-down, sugar-coated Judaism, and it's probably heretical. It's probably not even Judaism. It's some offshoot.